Live. Tonight we're streaming across my YouTube channel, the Facebook, the KBF Facebook group, and the KBF Facebook page. If you are all out there watching on Facebook, StreamYard doesn't like showing comments unless you give permission, and it won't do it if you're doing it from the Facebook group. So if you want to leave comments or interact with Chad and I tonight, hop on over to the KBF Facebook page or Hickman Outdoors on YouTube, and we can pull comments in from there. If not, enjoy. Welcome to I'm going to call it the season finale of Catch22 for 2023.
It's the season finale asterisk, because actually this event goes all the way to December 31st. So we're going to do another one of these New Year's Day, or maybe the New Year's, January 2nd.
So, Cat, go ahead and tell them what we found out about, when the tournament actually ends. So,
well, we should have known because we planned it, I planned it, but I forgot that I ran it to the end of the year, and it makes sense because it's, it's the full year. You paid for a full year when you join, and so I went out and caught 16 fish today. There's still plenty of people now. Like a dumbass, only took photos of 2 of them, so I'll be upgrading some tonight. I'm going to fish the rest of the month. If you're in an area where you can, get out there and catch them. For the rest of the prizes that are being given away, I've done 4 kayaks this year, about to do 2 more. That's been based off of catching 22 fish.
Yep.
The rest of these random prizes is based off of anybody that entered a fish. So you can enter a fish in just for fun. You don't even have to have complied with the rules. You just got to enter a fish. So you can still join. I'm giving away a KBF lifetime membership for everybody that's joined for the whole year. There is no preferential if you join between now and the end of the year, but you got just as good a chance of winning as anybody else. Got a bunch of Fish USA gift cards left to give. There are some of you knuckleheads out there that haven't claimed yours from the last time I announced it and blasted out the email, the Fishing Chaos message, and the internal app thing. So check your messages, and if you see your name and you haven't claimed your Fish USA gift cards, hit me up. Kathy Pauley picked up her boat a couple weeks ago. She's down in Florida. I'm going to meet her down there, and we're going to do a video about it. She won she actually won the Catch 5 part of the Catch22 this year, and the prize was like a boat from 1,000 to 1,500, and she opted for the Old Town MK 106 that I had. Old Town cleared it. She agreed to pay the difference as a donation to Hal. So she donated $1,200, which was the price difference between the prize and the prize that she got.
Yep.
2 Heroes on the Water. Well, through to me, that will go to Heroes on the Water in her name. I'm not trying to blow any smoke up anybody's skirt. The numbers are not settled yet, so I'm going to give you a rough number right now before we get into the rest of it, because this was kind of the whole purpose of this thing.
Yep.
We've given away a little over $20,000 total in prizes so far. Tonight we'll be doing another 11,900 and 3,200. So that's what is that? 15,000. So about a 10K improvement over last year. We had 485 entries last year. We're knocking on the door of 600 right now. And we're with Kathy's $1,200 donation. We're at $3,870 to donate to Hal right now from the 25, 50, 25. And we'll be making that donation right after the first of the year when the dust settles and the smoke clears.
Yep.
And so hopefully we can raise a little bit more. Hopefully we can get a little bit more interest. I don't expect people to go buck wild. It is only, like 8 days left or 7 days left. And most of y'all ain't fishing anymore.
We're sitting at 598 anglers. We need
2 more. Can 2 of you knuckleheads just join? Come on.
Somebody get out there.
Like, honestly, if each one of y'all could reach one and we get by like 10 more people, it'll look way better to sponsors going forward to next year.
Oh, yeah.
We're over 22,000 fish. That's amazing. That's a little bit bigger than last year by about 100, I think. And like I said, we still got the rest of the year to go. So let me read through what the prize packages are. Then I'm going to go over here and do some KBF business to talk about what we got planned for next year. That's going to complement the Catch22 challenge, another series we're introducing, and some stuff that I mean, I'm just excited about.
Yep.
And, you know, had a rough year this year. I am ready to come out of the gate, you know, flexing, having fun, doing our thing. And we're not trying to be the elite. We're trying to be the community brand, right? That's what we should have been all along. We kind of lost focus for that for a little while, trying to be all this crazy crap. But anyway, community first, access to everybody, opportunities to everybody, spread the love. That's the goal. Okay. So let me run through these prize packages. The second place grand prize ain't no slouch. And this has actually been one of my favorite boats. And when people ask me, what is the best big boy boat out there? And they don't know if they want a bow mount, a stern mount. Like, in other words, if they don't know what they want, I've been recommending this boat right off the top of the dome. It's the New Canoe Unlimited. Because if you don't know what you want, it's kind of unlimited. You can rig this thing out. And so what's going to come with this prize package is the New Canoe Unlimited, which is an $1,800 value. The New Canoe Gear Pod, $200 value. The New Canoe Quick Connect foot steering, $180 plus the extended kit, which is $60, so $240 total right there. The New Canoe Quick Connect motor mount, $125. The transom assembly, which is another $125, and then the transducer retract system, which is actually pretty cool. Once I learned from Mike over at Westbrook Supply a little trick about protecting the back of your transducer, because I'd had a little bit of a problem with it in the beginning, but now that he turned me on to this guy that makes this, and I am sorry that I forget it. It's in my current YouTube video with the walkthrough of the New Canoe Unlimited. Y'all go check it out. I think it's a badass product. Support those people in our sport that are one of us, that are innovating, that are creating products and solving problems. And so that transducer retract system is pretty badass. The only thing that I didn't really like about it initially is when I back up in grass would kind of wedge between it and the hole. And then when you tried to retract it, you know, you couldn't get it to come up. And so, God, I wish I could think of the. I'm sorry that I dropped the ball on it, Mike. Minivan, I apologize. Tell your boy to send me a message and I'll do a standalone video promoting his product, because it is badass. All right. That being said, this is a $3,215 prize package. In addition to that, I took this boat to the granddaddy of new canoe outfitters, riggers in the game, Fletch over at Westbrook Supply. So you're going to have the option to go pick it up in Atlanta at Fletch's place. And when you go there, you have the ability to have the master himself help you outfit the boat, customize it, rig it for exactly how you want it. It's got all the stuff ready to go for a motor. I couldn't swing getting a motor for this boat for this year, but I'm pretty sure I've already got the commitment to add a motor to second place next year. That being said, this is still a bang-up prize package, but Fletch has already said he'll do a discount on anything that you buy to add to the boat. He'll help you rig it. It'll be your day. You'll schedule it with it. You'll come in there. You'll have his undivided attention. We'll get Minivan to come in. I'll meet you over there. Or you can say, nah, man, I'll just take the boat the way it is. Then I'll drive my butt over to Atlanta, pick it back up, bring it here. You can come to Alabama, and we'll go fishing. Those are the two options for the kayak prizes. One of the things that we knew out of the gate we weren't going to be able to do with these kayak packages is ship them. Yeah. Freight is out of there. They've lost their damn mind. If something happens to it, insuring one single kayak is a nightmare. It's so you got to pick the boat up. That's the only downside, if you want to call it. You got to come down to, I don't know, one of the worst places in the world to fish, North Alabama, and chase some giants with yours truly. I know it's
just terrible, right? I mean, how can you live with yourself, Chad? I mean, come on.
So now I'm going to talk about the grand prize, and this grand prize was like a labor of love. Partnered with Duke over at Catch to develop some products for the SS127. We knew the power was coming, but we couldn't talk about the power yet, and we didn't want to wait till the power was able to be talked about to talk about what the grand prize was, and we didn't know if we'd be able to get it in time. So I'm already happy to announce that the 2024 grand prize is going to be a bona fide Power 129, 2 Lowrance grass, a stern motor, a bow mount motor, to be announced which one those are, power pole micro anchor, $500 Yak Attack prize pack, a Motor Guide XI3, a Catch custom outfitting package, and a Dakota Lithium 12-volt, 135 amp hour battery to power all of those toys, right? So here's the deal. This year's prize package is just that. It's a Bonafide SS127. It's got 2 Lowrance graphs. And if you notice the pictures that I posted on Facebook, they're not on there yet. The reason being is you have some say in what graphs you get, okay? So instead of just sticking some on there and calling it good, you're going to have some say in what graphs you want, what system you want, what setup you want. Torqeedo 1103 AC. That's the premium Torqeedo package, the most powerful one that they make, the highest capacity battery, the whole kit. You're going to get a power pole micro anchor. This is this year. That other one I was talking about was next year. You're going to get a power pole micro anchor. You're going to get a $500 Yak Attack prize pack to rig and outfit this boat. You're going to get a Motor Guide XI3. It's the pinpoint version. That's like the $1,500 one. You're going to get the whole Catch custom package with the anodized rails, the anodized accessories, and then you're going to get that Dakota Lithium 135 amp hour battery. Now, here's the deal. 2 choices for this one as well. You can either go pick the boat up in Illinois, just outside of Chicago, at the Catch headquarters. And if you opt to do that, you're going to be able to pull the parts off of the boat, put your logo on there, put your name on the side of them, add your whatever. You're going to be able to do there's some special stuff that we're not even talking about here in the video that we're saving for when the person goes and gets their boat, that there's a little bit of a wow factor to it for some of the things that are going to go with the boat. But if you opt to go pick it up at Catch, Duke has already said his engineering team will be at their disposal for the day. Duke will be at your disposal. It'll basically be your day at Catch, kind of like bring your kid to work, and you get to get in the mad scientist lab, make some stuff if there's something you can think of that you want. Add some stuff, take some stuff off, and engrave your name on the side of it. Engrave the name of the kayak, Bonafide, Billy, Sally Sue, whatever you want to call it, right? Then you're also going to be able to pick up and help build your own custom Catch board, Catch X, with your name on it, logos, whatever you want to match the boat. But you're going to not only get to pick the layout, you're going to see how it's made. You're going to assemble the board with the team. So you're going to get a full immersive day at the Catch headquarters, going through the process. Let Duke and his team talk you through some of the modifications, how they were made, why they did what they did, why they didn't do certain things. This thing has a custom bow mount plate, custom stern mount plate, custom side plates, anodized tracks, the crossbar, the stagers. This thing is $11,900 retail price. That'd be another $800 in taxes if you went somewhere and bought it. And I'm sure I'm missing something. Now, if you choose to go pick this up at Catch, you also still have the opportunity to bring your butt down to Alabama. And with this grand prize package for both the Bonafide and for the new canoe, you also get a day on Hero Lake. Now, here's what's kind of special about Hero Lake for now. It's in transition. When we electroshock it in May and when we stock it in June, you could also hold off and say, hey, I want to hold on to my Hero Lake trip until spring of 25, when it's going to be a little juicier. But JT, tell them a little bit about Hero Lake. You've had the opportunity to, as a substantial volunteer, for helping out KBF and Catch22 and all that good stuff. Just what was your experience there in its current state, right?
Man, it's an awesome fishery. And anybody who's followed the whole frog fishing fiasco, that's literally where we went and got it done. But I remember the first time we went, Jeremy, Matt, and I joined you on the water. And it was just a night of catching just an insane amount of fish, but there are some tanks in there. And after I went and caught the frogfish, I actually spent the rest of the day trying to chase a tank. And I had one, you know how sometimes they don't always quite get the jackhammer. And when you see that body come out of the water and the gills flashing and your jackhammer go flying, I knew I had a PB on. But it's a very It's a very cool, special body of water. I can't wait to see what the future of this place holds. It's an amazing little fishery, but I'm looking forward to some camping and some fishing, and yeah,
so here's what's cool about Hero
cool
Lake.
spot.
Even since the time that you fished there, I've had a select group of volunteers that are taking out fish under 12 inches, taking some kids over there, taking some veterans, taking some homeland heroes. In fact, most of my volunteer days this year, taking military and homeland hero people fishing, was to Hero Lake so they could have a pretty cool experience. Throw a stringer together, do a fish fry, that whole thing.
Yep.
And you have to do that for management. And so then when Wendell won the knucklehead,
yep.
I forgot what team he passed at the last minute with only like 30 minutes to go. But anyway,
I wasn't going to bring that up. And I saw somebody giving some advice of where they should go to try to beat me in his video. And I'm like, oh, the knife in the back. Fling, fling.
Hey, but I gave that same advice to everybody. So it's fair game. Now,
it wasn't everybody who came back and beat me. It was,
well, I understand that. I'm just saying the advice was out there for everybody. That being said,
yep,
we have done a substantial amount of management so far. And so when Wendell called me and said, hey, we're going to spend one more night in Huntsville, where should we go? And I was like, who's we? He's like, oh, I got one of my team guys with me, whatever. And I said, meet me in the morning at Ditto Landing. I'm going to take you to a real special place. I can't fish. I've got something going on. I've been, kicking this can down the road for a week and a half, doing all this stuff. I gotta, so anyway, I took him over there, got him started. I don't know, 2 hours into them being on the water, I'm getting a text message. Hey, Jake just caught his personal best. And then, 4 hours later, I'm getting pictures from Wendell holding up a donkey. Yep. Not quite his personal best because he had just caught his personal best on Gunnersville, but pretty damn close.
And so he goes down there and catches a 21. Yeah.
Almost everybody that I've taken to that lake is either caught their personal best or had it on. And so far I've caught a 9.3 over there. I've been with 2 people who've broken 9. Haven't seen a 10 come out of there yet, but Austin hooked a fish that he lost at the surface that was every bit of 10. I've seen 2 10s on the bed in the spring that I couldn't get. I mean, I threw everything but the kitchen sink at him and couldn't get him to eat. But it's going to be even more special moving forward. And so anyway, we can talk about that forever. Yep. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give everybody a quick run through on some stuff that's moving forward with KBF, some things that we're working on. I'm going to defer talking about Knucklehead, but I am excited about the Knucklehead series because it's not going to start until May of next year. So we got a little bit of time. We'll make an announcement about the Knucklehead series and those changes. We're going to draw the grand prize winner and the runner-up grand prize, the other grand prize winner at the end of this. So in about 10 minutes. And then we're going to draw the rest of this stuff and some other stuff that I'm twisting the arms of some sponsors to take it to the next level January 2nd. So that being said.
So you do have time, and we have number Brian Rand. Thank you for signing up for Make It $5.99. Like I said, everybody get one more person because there are more prizes to be given away till the end of the year.
Probably like 2,000 more right here. I got the KBF lifetime membership, $650, and then I'm sure I can shake the tree and get a little bit more something. So let me do my thing, but y'all do me a favor and keep recruiting, keep waving the flag, keep trying to get 6, 8, 10 more people in so we can get over that 600 number.
So get out there and get it.
And then what that does is when we're over that 600 number, because we talked about this, 605 sounds like a hell of a lot more than 598, 599. It's just a thing. It's like psychological. So that allows me to go to sponsors between now and say end of January, first part of February, and really ratchet up the prize packages for next year. All right. So let me talk about the challenge series. The challenge series is going to be pretty straightforward next year. March to September. Kicks off in March, goes to September. I am not going to spoon feed you the details, and I am no longer going to walk through everything on live streams because y'all knuckleheads will smack me in the head with it 6 months later if something changed. So the official word of how it works is on the website. Go to the homepage, scroll down until you see challenge series, click on it. That takes you to the updated challenge series format and all the rules. Okay. Top 25% of each challenge for each state will qualify for the Challenge Series Championship. The top 50% in May will qualify through Mayhem. So realize May is a big month.
Oh, yeah.
The Challenge Series AOY will be decided by the top 10 at the Challenge Series Championship. But here's what's new for 24. I've always had a weird feeling, and it's always been awkward to take somebody from one series and kind of qualify them for the 10. People have loved it, and people have hated it, and then people have been like, meh. So this year, I ended up doing 2 10s so that I could get the 10 cycle where I wanted it to be, which is at the championships. So that way you're not having to spend a week in Florida after or a week at the first event after to hang out and continue to fish. And you don't qualify for this thing, and you got to wait 5 or 6 months until you get your money. So now you qualify for the top 10, you move into the 10. The 10 is a one-day tournament now. Here's what I really want people to think of. It is basically the third day of the championship for the Challenge Series, and it's the third day of the championship. It's the third day where you're guaranteed $10,000 first place, plus however much you just won in the Challenge Series Championship.
Yep.
But you're also guaranteed $1,000 out to 10th place. We're going to use the holdback in the past that we've added to the championship to fund that. Once we surpass the $21,000 that's guaranteed between the first through 10th place, we're then going to start adding money back to second place and third place. And when we bolster third place up, then we're going to go back and start adding money to the championship. So this is all laid out on the website. I'm going to run through it one more time. Top 10 in Angler of the Year standings from the championship move into the Challenge Series, the 10. And then it's $10,000 for first place and $1,000 for making it in. And there's only 10 slots. Okay. The Trail Series Championship is going to be the same way. The Trail Series schedule is out. So you're fishing basically March kickoff in Kissimmee. I'm sorry, kickoff in, good Lord, Murray. Always a slugfest, always some, I'm going to answer this Facebook user real quick. The first 2 days of the championship don't potentially assist in AOI points. They are the final piece of the AOI point calculation, and they're points and a half. They're points and a half for the Challenge Series Championship. Again, I'm not spoon feeding you guys this, but I will say that for the Challenge Series Championship, it's staying at points and a half. For the Trail Series, I'm actually reducing it a little bit, and I'll talk about that in a second. On the Trail Series, though, starts in March, goes to June. Schedule's already out. Go to Fishing Chaos. There's not a single event that's been added since October 7th or 8th. So I've had the schedule out. I just didn't do the graphic. Waiting on sponsor confirmations, waiting on some other stuff. But we've had events up since May, June, July, and then October. They're set.
And you said you're going to be doing some website rework over the winter as well, correct?
Oh, yeah. Like Sam's been busting his hump, and we're hoping to have that. I'm going to say end of January, hoping it's sooner, but it might be middle of February, right? But hopefully right after the first of the year. But we're going to keep updating the existing website with this stuff. So if you go to the website and click on Challenge Series, the Challenge Series explanation is there. I got rid of the championship vernacular and the AOI vernacular that confused the hell out of everybody.
Yep.
And it's all consolidated because now there is no AOI and championship separation because the champion goes to the 10. Now you got your own 10. So there's a Challenge Series, the 10. It's the top 10 in the Challenge Series AOI standing after the Challenge Series Championship. Same thing for Trail Series. We kick off in March. We end in June. It's the juiciest, best, like centerpiece of the steak time of the year. 4 badass lakes, 4 badass places to fish. I will build back onto it when it makes sense, but it's a rebound year. And it's also a transition year where we stop focusing everything on these uber elite tournaments and we start doing some stuff that's more community oriented, that's a little bit more accessible to everybody. Stop spending so much stupid money and give some of that money to our ambassador clubs, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But that's the path to the AOI. Same thing, $10 holdback. Now, there's not as many entries in the Trail Series, so odds are we're probably not going to surpass the holdback of the 20,000. So I'm going to be coming out of pocket to add money, but it's 10,000 for first, $1,000 to make it into the top 10, guaranteed. But if we do surpass that in holdback, we're going to add second place in the 10, third place in the 10, and then after we fill out third place, will then go down and start adding first, second, and third of the championship, adding money to it from the holdback. Okay. And that's all now spelled out on the website.
All right, cool.
So the Trail Series and the Challenge Series both are a path to their own 10. You can qualify for both. If you qualify for the Challenge Series Championship and the Trail Series Championship, and you come in and you win both of them, you won $20,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working on a payout for AOI. If I'm able to pull that off, you're going to win $20,000 plus however much you win for AOI. If you win first in one and second in another one, you're going to take home $11,000. If you win
good payday,
both of them, you're going to take home $2,000. So if you make it into those 10s, both of them, you're going to take $1,000 home. And if you make it into both of them at the same time, you're going to take home $2,000.
And if you don't make it into either, you fish in the big bass fish off.
But there you go. Because we got something else going on for everybody after the event's over so that we can build out a really badass award ceremony and give these guys the 10 the recognition that they deserve. I do got to give a big shout out to Eric Nelson. Eric Nelson reached out to me to ask about the custom bourbon bottles that we weren't able to get this year for the 10. And so I was like, yeah, we'll probably have them at the trail kickoff or something like that. I said, because I can't ship bourbon. Little did I know, you can't just ship whiskey like I thought you could. I mean, not that I've ever done it in the past and not declared it, but anyway. So we're going to actually get the 10 prize packages together and present them at the national championship, which is the perfect venue to recognize those people. So you get a little bit of the way we did it before and the new way kind of all rolled into one. All right. So now this is the new thing I want to talk about. There's two new things I want to talk about. And this one's going to happen next year. The other one's going to happen in 2026. But I want to give you a snapshot and a preview of where we're headed. Okay.
Y'all get ready. Y'all get ready for this.
This first one is called the 5x5. Okay. The 5x5 branding is done. Sam did a fantastic job. It came out bad to the bone. And so it looks a little something like this. I probably should have just got you to bring it up, JT, but we'll go low tech tonight. It looks a little something like that. You'll notice it's the 5 times 5, and then there's phases. Okay. So here's what the 5x5 is it's a month-long tournament, but there's 5 phases of 5 days. You only get to fish 5 days. It's a $25 entry fee per phase. It's a 50-50 donation to Heroes on the Water in the beginning because this is going to be a FishOPS series initially.
This is based off of Catch 5, right? This is where we...
Yeah, it's kind of like an extension of Catch 5. We're still going to do Catch 5. That's a month long. We're still going to do Catch22 the way we've done it. The State Challenge Series is going to stay exactly the way it is, at least for 2, probably even 3 more years, guaranteed. So I know a lot of people initially are going to go, you should take this format and apply it to the State Challenge Series. We're not doing that, especially not initially, okay? So that being said, the 5x5 is 5 phases of 5 days, and it's your best 5 fish during those 5 days. You only get to fish 5 days by buying the ticket for that phase. Okay. Now here's the one caveat to that. The one caveat to that is we're going to turn this into the World Series of Poker for fishing. You can rebuy if you fish phase 1 and you don't do as well as you thought you could have. You can rebuy. Now, the initial inclination is for people to think, holy crap, dude, if you can rebuy, now that's $125 to fish the series. There's going to be a limited number of rebuys. I'm thinking probably 1, maybe 2 the first out of the gate, and we'll kind of see how it goes. But here's the kicker for the rebuy. You're not getting 10 or 15 days to fish because if you rebuy, you zero back out.
Yep. So
if you have a tough 5-day window and you want to rebuy, you can, but the rebuy is going to be $50. So you're paying double to get back in again. So you're kind of paying a penalty for fishing twice, and you're building the pot. So now I'm going to put a 5x5 together for January. We're going to soft launch it. We're going to not go crazy with it. We're going to put up a $500 guarantee, 50-50, 50% goes to Heroes on the Water, 50% gets paid out. Something to that effect, right? Now, here's the big kicker, and this is what I want to start the conversation about. So look for a post on the Kayak Bass Fishing group, but I'm not going to do it until after Christmas because I don't want you guys on your phones, worried about that when you should be spending time with family. This is going to be the ultimate format for the smallmouth series and the river series. So here's where I'm at on the river series. We have a locked-in destination. I'll be announcing that right after the new year. It's on a fishery that you guys are going to love for the smallmouth championship. I'm sorry, the river championship.
River championship.
For the smallmouth championship, here's what we're doing. We're doing the 5x5 by 5. Here's what that means. 5 phases of 5 days, and we're going to take the top 5 smallmouth fisheries in the country, and you can pick which fishery you want to go fish, but it's only going to be those 5, so you'll know plenty of time in advance. You can make your travel plans, you can coordinate, you can research. If you live close to one and you say that other one's better, okay, shut up, go fish that one. It's just like anything else. It's just that we're going to take the 5 top ranked smallmouth fisheries in the world, and those are going to be the 5 places you're going to fish. We're going to do it in May. Okay, perfect time. Yeah. The one other big reason that I want to do it this way in May is because May is one of the toughest months to schedule a tournament, and it's also one of the best months. And the reason being is there's 2 reasons. One, everybody wants to do a tournament in May because the weather's finally good everywhere and all that. But you got Mother's Day that knocks out one weekend, and you got Memorial Day that knocks out another weekend. So you basically took one of the best months and cut it in half. So it'll be part of Mayhem. It'll be the 5x5. I've got to figure out how we do the qualifications. If I do it different than the top 15, or if we just make it, hey, that's what we said in the beginning. These 45 people are going to go fish 5x5. Okay. I'll figure that out and I'll come to you guys for feedback. But ultimately, this is going to be the format for the river series for the entire year next, in 24 and beyond. Okay. And that way you don't have these scenarios where guys that are retired or go to college or high school kids or whatever, they can fish every day for the challenge series, which is always one of the big complaints. And we got some plans for that in the future, but I want to hear your feedback on this 5x5 concept, just not yet. Stay tuned for right after Christmas when I bring this up in a post where it's a little more formalized. The landing page on the website will be done so you can go scrutinize it. But that 5x5 format is a little bit of something like what Duke and the team over at Catch have been doing. It's kind of similar to what Grubby does. It's similar to what some other people have done. But I like the format. I like the concept. And we're going to roll with it for 2024, and we're going to see how it goes. We're going to start national. Oh, heck yeah. That's awesome. We're going to start national. Thank you guys so much. That's awesome.
Yes,
just a couple more, and we'll look good for me to take this to sponsors and twist their arms and beat them upside the head and pull some product from them. Yeah, so stay tuned for that feedback request. So far, the feedback requests have been amazing. We are working on launching KBF Campus, which is going to be the #1 repository for kayak fishing information from basic, intermediate to kind of early advanced. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use that to feed Bass University's kayak series. I don't want to compete with those guys because I truly believe that's a badass program. I have been a subscriber to it, like in full transparency. When Mike and I did a fish off 6 or 7 years ago, whatever it was at Bienville Plantation, he gave me the buddy code. So I've had access to Bass University. It's worth every penny because if you get one nugget out of there, that you go out and put into work on the water and it catches you 3 or 4 fish a trip, multiply that by the time on the water. But you're not going to get one. You're going to get 10. And if you guys check your emails, the team at Bass University put together, and look, I worked on them. I twisted their arm. I played hard to get. Hey, we want to promote to the Kayak Bass Fishing Group. Okay, what's the Kayak Bass Fishing exclusive deal? Oh, we got the best deal going that we can. Okay, cool. So I'll post it. And I did a few times. They came back and they said, what's it going to take to get KBF to get behind this more? I said, give me something to give specifically to the world's largest kayak fishing community so that they feel like you're addressing them. And God bless him, Justin came back in 2 hours. He's like, here's what I can do. This is the best deal that Bass University has ever done and will ever do. It's normally $149. We'll do it for $99. So the KBF members are going to get a $50 discount. In addition to that, if you set it up and you just let it auto renew, it'll be $99 forever. So let me frame that up. When they go to the Classic and they're selling Bass University and they're pumping it, and they do a $99 special at the Classic, you get it. But then when it renews at $149. Okay. So this is a $50 a year KBF membership benefit, and Yak Attack stepped up and gave them a $50 gift card. So you get a $50 discount for being a KBF member. You get a $50 Yak Attack gift card, and you get a $20 Bass University hat, and it even fits big ass head dudes like us. So it's basically $25, $30 above what you get. It's a cool system. And I'm excited to partner with those guys. And so what we want to do is create a repository for all of that basic information that we kind of been ignoring for a few years. Man, we used to do Kayak 101 seminars, Kayak Fishing 101 seminars 3 or 4 times a year back in the day. I haven't done one in 8 years. We haven't done those things of servicing the new people. One other thing that we're doing on the Trail Series this year, a paddle-only division. That is happening. There will be a paddle-only division. And when I said paddle-only, I didn't say no motor. That doesn't mean paddle and pedal and. It means paddle. Yeah. There will be a paddle-only division this year at the KBF Trail Series event. So stay tuned for that. You won't be competing against the other anglers, and they won't be competing against you. You are making a commitment to say, I want to go to an event that has a thing that I relate to as somebody that only wants to paddle, and then you can fish in that series. In fact, I think I'm going to fish the paddle only division at all of our trails this year.
Yep.
Just to do it.
Just to go back to the KBF or to the Bass U thing, guys. I've been a member of that up until this year, and it was only because one certain person was supposedly on that step that I let that end. So I'm really curious, but I did see that like Russ Snyder's is going to be contributing, you know, so you're not just going to have the best. You're not just going to have G-Man.
Justin Largent, you know, they're continuous. I mean, and the other thing is
you're going to have some of the best kayak anglers putting into that as well.
By partnering with KBF, they're also giving us a voice in selecting who some of those anglers are. Because listen, not all the best anglers in the world are the anglers that are the best tournament fishermen. There's some absolute hammers out there that don't fish tournaments. And those folks have something to offer, and I'm going to be recommending those folks as best I can.
Now, to me, like the perfect example would be like Jeff Little. I don't think I've ever seen him fish a tournament, but that dude passes on so much knowledge. It's not funny.
Well, we fished the national championship one year, spent half of the national championship helping other people, and still finished 7th out of 460. So he's actually a hammer. But he doesn't focus on the tournament fishing stuff. But he's that guy. There's a lot of folks like that. Now, JT, it'll take me about 5 minutes to explain this concept that I've kind of given you a sneak peek at, and then we need to join. We need to grab these prize winners, or do you think we should just forego that, do the prize winners, and talk about this later?
I'm not in a hurry. Talk about that for sure, because that's going to raise some eyebrows, and then we can do the giveaways.
All right. So when we did the $100,000 guarantee back in 2018, the one big gripe come out of the event was, man, it was $100,000 for this one person, and there was a big drop off to second place. So since that event, we have worked our butts off to have what I consider the best distribution for payouts in the game, the most added money, the highest percentage of payback, because we've been well over 150% every year since then. But I can't do that next year because it's not sustainable. But here's what I can do. Stuff like what I'm about to tell you. So part of the reason that I moved to North Alabama is it was one of the only places where I can go to this place or this creek or that river. It's literally God's playground for kayak fishermen. You know, it's one of the only places. It might be the only place that we could host what I'm about to tell you. It's called the MOAT, which stands for the Mother of All Tournaments. And the Mother of All Tournaments, and again, everything I'm about to tell you is unofficial, other than I'm telling you that officially it's going to happen, right? This is the format, and it's on a whiteboard. I've got to meet with a few boards. So far, everybody's wagging their tail, fired up. They're adding to it instead of, you know, that you've got something when the people that you're trying to convince to help fund it are adding to it instead of taking away from it. I don't know. What about, they're like, oh, you know what we could do? So we're there, guys. This is going to be a good one. I actually had this going about 4 years ago. And then a bunch of jackasses in kayak fishing started acting a fool. And then one of the indemnities that are a non-endemic to fishing invested in it. They did their due diligence and found a bunch of toxic behaviors, what they labeled it, and pulled their funding. Well, we're back, bitches. So here's what we're looking at. Okay. I'm going to spin this. I'm going to spin the camera and the computer around. And then you tell me.
You guys are going to flip out. This is going to be incredible.
Tell me if those lights are blocking the screen too much or what's going on. Can you see this thing?
There you go.
Let me slide this thing up a little bit.
I'm gonna make you big on the screen.
Is that readable right there?
Yeah, it will be when I get you up. There you go. Now I made you full screen now, so you're good. You guys pay attention to this because this is going to be incredible.
So this is kind of the war room, right? It's the mother of all tournaments. It's coming in 2026. Here's what we're looking at doing. The 7-day tournament. You get to fish all 7 days for $500, or you can fish any one day for $100. Okay? So $500 or $100 per day. You can fish 2 days, you can fish 4 days, you can fish all 7 days. There'll be a daily big five, meaning the top 5 in 5 fish totals every day will make $1,000. Now that's not graduated, and some people are going to have a problem with this, but it is the way it is for right now. If you're in first place, you're going to make $1,000. If you're in 5th place, you're going to make $1,000. The top 5 are guaranteed to make $1,000. But bear with me, because here's where this thing really gets good. Instead of doing $100,000 for one person, our goal is to do $100,000 opportunities plus other payouts. So here's how it's going to work. Top 5 big bass also get $1,000. So a pretty good chance that if you won the top 5, you're probably going to pick up at least one of these. So now you're at 2,000, maybe 3,000. If you picked up all 5 daily big bass, because there's a chance of that, you're going to get 1,000 plus the 5,000. So now 6,000. Now you're also fishing for the top 10 bass overall, which are going to be a minimum of $1,000. And then here's the structure for that. The first biggest bass is 10,000. The second biggest bass is 5,000. The third biggest bass, 2,500. Then 2,000, 1,500, 1,000. And then from 6th place all the way to 10th, it's 1,000 flat until we meet our guarantee. And then we'll start bolstering these numbers again. Once we bolster these numbers, then we're going to move back over here, because the top 5 fish overall, meaning the top 5 fish total, as if you're fishing in a standard catch 5 tournament, will win $25,000. That's the minimums right now. And this is what we're able to commit to. So I'll be putting this event together. We'll start marketing.
Now, let's make sure that they understand this. That 100,000 is already funded prior to the tournament starting.
100%. Now, basically, to kind of just be transparent with you guys and kind of pull the veil back, every bit that we don't meet in championship, we as KBF will have to supplement. Okay. So we have the 100,000. I'm not doing stuff like this anymore, especially with what I went through last year without having the funds in escrow.
Yeah, so that's not based off of everybody's entry fees. That money is there from the start.
Right. And then what we will do is we will benefit from how well we market this, how well we do with it in the tournament, the turnout that we get based on the difference in what we have to pay out. Okay. But right now, just on that formula, we're at like 135,000 total. So we're already 35K kind of in the hole that we have to make up. So instead of having this tournament where one person can win $50,000, you have a good day or good 3 days, and you have 2 good days and 1 bad day, You come here and you fish your ass off for 7 days. You might want to fish 3 days, take a break, and fish 2 more. But we'll have an overall leaderboard for the whole 7 days. If you finish in the top 5, first place right now is 25,000. Then we'll start building out second place, third place, out to 5th place. Then we'll go back up to first and start bolstering it again. I'm not trying to worry about paying out 10% of the field or the traditional formula, because this is not a traditional tournament. Because here's the deal. You could win 2,000 one day, 3,000 another day, 5,000 another day, 8,000 another day. Then you could go to the end, and after you've already won $14,000, $16,000, $17,000, you can then realize, oh shit, my top 5 bass, I won 1st, 5th, 7th, and 9th. Because again, this is not a one and a done. This is the top 10 biggest bass. So if you've got 3 of them, you get paid for 3 of them. If you've got 2 of them, you get paid for 2 of them. Okay. Then you won money across the course of the event. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So in theory, I think if you really ran the board, I did the math on it, you could probably pull about 65,000. But that means that the rest of that money is distributed to the rest of the field, right?
Yep.
And I'm going to play with some models to where there is no way for one person to run the board, if that makes sense, right?
Right.
Now, one person can still win a lot of damn money, but you can come in and have a good day and win a couple thousand. Have the next day.
This is going to be on Gunnersville. This is not
going to
national.
No. This is going to be the Mountains of Alabama tournament, the Monsters of Alabama tournament, the mother of all tournaments. It's going to be at a minimum, Lake Gunnersville and Wheeler. I have to work with the state to say, what is my capacity for those 2? And then once we hit that, then I'll add Lewis Smith, Wilson, other North Alabama lakes. But here's the other thing. There will be a daily check-in, a daily breaking of bread, a daily meal. This is going to be a cohesive community event. You're going to fish your ass off. You're going to be exhausted. You're not going to want to drive, but it's going to be part of the deal. Okay.
You're literally going to turn Huntsville into Fishville.
That's what I promised them when I came here. That's what they promised me they would help me do. And with y'all's help, that's what we're going to do, because it legitimately is dead center in some of the best, absolute, without a doubt, fishing in the game. I'm going to have river bonuses. I'm going to have the most ridiculously robust boundaries that you've ever seen. Okay. It's going to be sick. We're going to have spotters, camera people, all out. We're going to have game cameras at boat ramps that are off limits. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be a major undertaking to pull this thing off. That's why I'm giving us till 2026 to pull it up. So in 24, we're going to rebound the trail and baseline it. We're going to focus on this new concept of having a challenge series to 10 and a trail series to 10. Let the smoke settle and the dust clear and say, we can make these small tweaks. No more turning the steering wheel and running the car in the ditch at KBF. We're going to make small tweaks. We're going to look, listen, and then react. And we're only going to react slowly, methodically, and for the benefit of the community and for the benefit of the most possible people. I am no longer worried about the guy holding up the one big check, and we act like that's what we accomplished.
Yep.
Right? We need to build a sustainable model. And if you look at what Major League Fishing is doing, if you look at what's happened with FLW over the years and all these other companies that have been sold 5 times and bankrupt 3 times, it is not a sustainable model to focus on the OPM model, other people's money, just shuffling it around. Okay. It's also not sustainable for me to fund everything. I've learned that, the hard way. But this model, taking the success of this year's national championship, the 25 national championship, and then rolling it into this event is going to be, it's going to be fun. It's going to be an undertaking. I hope you guys have enjoyed not hearing my fat ass 3 times a week, because in 24, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong, nonstop. because y'all deserve it. The community deserves the recognition. We deserve to drown out the noise of these toxic, clowns that think they are the voice of this sport, because they're not. And they've not done anything to quantify deserving it, just self-anointed. In the Navy, when you try to give yourself a cool call sign and you try to act all cool and people find out, they call you SACS, which stands for self-appointed call sign. So some of these guys are self-appointed leadership people, SAPs. They think they're some kind of leader, and they've done nothing other than criticize what other people do. That doesn't make you a leader, right? And so I'm not getting into all that. I'm actually not even going down that road next year. Yep. I'm going to do what we do. We're going to lean into it. We're going to focus on us, and we're going to focus on being the best we can possibly be for the community, and let everything else do what it do. Simple.
Because from Knucklehead through Catch22 up to this mother of all, I mean, who else is giving back to the community? I mean, and the cool thing about this, if you think about it, all you have to, what do you mean, who are we talking about? We're not talking about anybody. If you're one of the Karens listening, we're talking about you. So it doesn't really matter. But we're not going to bring the toxicity of that particular body into the conversation. We're going to continue to build and rebuild and be better and give back to the community. Bottom line. And
honestly,
you should come and join.
It isn't a particular body or bodies. It's
it's out there.
It's a thread and a tendency that people, for whatever reason in our community, have to jump on the negative and turn it into a bunch of bullshit. 3 or 4 times this year, shit blew up of stuff I was supposedly did or didn't do. And then when it was debunked and proven wrong, those people didn't even have the integrity to go back out and say, oh shit, I was wrong. Yeah, but I don't care. My point is this. It's not my job. It's not their job to go out and correct where they thought I was wrong. It's my job to constantly evolve to where we leave no gray area for that person to live in, no room for that misunderstanding. And I accept that responsibility. I've paid for it through the nose, overpaying.
Yeah, because this could have happened 4 years ago.
Right.
But you know what? We've gone through all that, and it's water, under the bridge, past this. We're going forward.
Look at here's where we're the other thing I will say. Anybody that's running kayak fishing events is contributing to the community. So the entity, what Hobie's doing is helping the community. What Bass is doing is helping the community. What Vinny from Queen City
even Bridgeford, even Bridgeford going after those who jilted people out of money. Yeah. It all makes a difference. So
but what I'm saying is all of those people are doing stuff for the community. These people that have a tendency to, whichever way the pendulum swings, to want to dogpile on one thing and then shit on the other two, those are the things that we've got to stop, right? Because that's not good for the sport. It's not good for the community. And what a lot of you guys forget is we are in the spotlight of fishing. People love us or they hate us. And when we act like jackasses, they go into their little rooms and go, see, those kayak people are toxic. We don't need to have anything to do with them. And they're watching. And condoning or allowing those people to act a fool turns into you being guilty by association or us being guilty by association. So anyway, got some big plans. Some of them happening next year. We're going to get even better in 25. And then in 26, we're hoping to have the coup de grace. Now, one reminder, the Kayak Bass Fishing National Championship registration is open now. If your club has told you you're qualified or you're qualified to your club, you can take advantage of that discount by registering. I had 3 directors reach out to me today and yesterday, and I told all of them, yes, you can have your people go ahead and register and pay so they can take advantage of the early bird discount, but I'll need your validation list 30 days before the end of registration because I've got to start validating people. And if somebody slipped through, then they've got to be notified and refunded. So if you're qualified, your club director told you, but they just haven't sent it to us yet to add to the qualified list, you can join, register, sign up, and get that discount before December 31st. So now what I think we should do is draw some damn winners. What you think, bro?
I think people are ready.
I'm going to do the New Canoe Unlimited first. Okay. Run back through this one more time. It's a $3,200 prize package, New Canoe Unlimited, $500 Yak Attack rigging package, the New Canoe gear pod, the New Canoe foot steering, the Quick Connect motor mount, the transom assembly, the transducer retract system. Go pick that boat up at Fletch's place and let him get you topped off. You know how Exhibit used to do when they did what's that, Pimp My Ride? He like pop your collar, pop the corner of your shirt. All right, so without further ado, the winner of the New Canoe Unlimited prize package is Mr. Nate Junke, Juenke. Did this through randomizer, and I recorded the whole thing on my phone. So if anybody has questions about it, we can post it. We can share it. Use the randomizer. Said we're going to draw from this leaderboard first. Took the number and went and picked a winner, and then did the same thing. Actually had to draw twice on Nate's prize because the randomizer picked like 449 or something, and when we got to like 216th place, there was no longer
somebody's daughter's in here that knows.
There was no longer 22 fish entered. So for these grand prizes, you actually had to enter 22 fish. Yep. For the rest of the prizes from now to the end of the year that we're going to draw January 1st or 2nd, you just have to have entered a fish. You just have to have paid for your ticket and entered a fish. The reason you have to enter a fish, and I'm probably maybe telling a little bit too much here, is in some states, if you just take an entry fee and you give things away, it's considered an illegal lottery.
Yeah.
But if you're required to exhibit skill and it's a skills competition, then it's no longer illegal lottery and it's valid, and it's going to be the way we do this moving forward. So you have to at least have entered a fish. Okay. Now, the grand prize winner of the Bonafide SS 127 with two Lowrance graphs, the crossbar, the Torqeedo 1103 AC, the Power Pole micro anchor, the $500 Yak Attack prize package to help get that thing dialed in, the Motor Guide XI3, the Catch Custom bow mount, stern mount, anodized tracks, and the experience to go to the factory and pick the thing up, topped off with your Dakota lithium battery. And by the way, Duke even told me he'll put in the electrical connections, he'll route the wiring, he'll do, like, you'll walk out of there RTF, ready to fish. Okay. So the winner of the grand prize, man, it's been a long year, but it also feels like, damn, are we giving this away already?
I know. It seems like we just got started.
Before I call this out, I got to give a big shout out to Blake at New Canoe. Blake was very patient with me when I had some financial struggles, some health struggles, some legal things that I had to deal with from the fallout of the divorce and all that. And so I wasn't able to put out as much content with the New Canoe Unlimited as I really wanted to. But thanks to Fletch and Mike Minivan over there at Westbrook Supply, they helped me finish that out. Big shout out to Tammy Sanchez for taking the time to let me walk through her deal. So if you haven't seen it yet, head over to my YouTube channel. Now, this is a little selfish, but I'm really asking on behalf of New Canoe. Share that video if you want to see the best video on how to outfit and rig a New Canoe Unlimited ever, because Tammy's at one end of the spectrum and Mike's at the other end, and then I kind of fit in the middle. And then I still have another video or two that I'm going to release that was kind of along the way, some of my thoughts and then my final assessment of the boat after how I rigged it, how I've seen several of the pros rig it, Mike, Tammy, the whole nine. So big shout out to Blake Young over at New Canoe. If you're a big dude, if you're a gear junkie, or if you're a minimalist, it's weird how this boat fits in all three categories.
Or if you're a father with a young child,
exactly. It's probably, and I would struggle to say this and say that I researched it, but I can't think of one. I don't know a better tandem option on the market to slap a second seat on there. And especially that since that seat swivels and you can actually have the kid turn around, you can help him out and then go back to fish. There's probably not a better tandem option on the market than the New Canoe Unlimited. So again, big shout out to Blake. Thank you so much for your support. And without further ado, we're going to pivot and we're going to pick the grand prize winner. So the grand prize winner for the Catch22 Challenge Bonafide prize package, it's $11,900. I'm going to give you $100 KBF cash to go with it. We can just call it $12,000. is Mr. Daryl Olson. That's Darrellolson. Daryl is in 5th place in the NE22 nationwide. The randomizer picked the number 5. It picked the number 440 something. That wasn't good, so I reshuffled it. And then Nate was number 83. So those were the ways that those randomizers were picked. Didn't even have the leaderboards up. Ran the randomizer, went to the leaderboard, scrolled down to that position, and those are the winners. So Daryl Olson, congratulations on winning the grand prize.
He's here. He is here. Nate. Oh, wait, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Boom. Daryl Olson. There you are, baby.
And Nate Junke. So, hey, Daryl and Nate, if you're on here watching, comment where you're from. Daryl, where are you from? And Nate, where are you from? If you guys could. And then if there's any other questions, JT, we can put like 2 minutes on the clock and say, we'll do 2 more minutes. If somebody's got questions, if there's anything they want to ask about what we just talked about. If you're asking me about format for the Trail and Challenge Series, go to the website. It's all there. I'm not answering those questions tonight. But anybody got any questions? Anybody?
Wow.
Let's see if they pop up. But I want to know where Daryl and Nate are from. I guess I could look it up.
Daryl is from Charleston, South Carolina.
So Daryl, you are from Charleston. You have to shoot me a text, 757-348-2232. And you don't have to be today, but shoot me a text when you decide, do you want to go pick up the boat and do the catch experience? Or do you want me to go pick it up and come meet me in Alabama and we'll work it out? And then Nate, where are you from, Nate?
I don't think I've seen anything from Nate. I saw his daughter.
User said, Chad, have I taken the power on the river yet? I have not taken it on a river, but in the video that I did, I took it to a creek on Gunnersville, and it performed really well. That being said, you're going to be hard pressed to get me to take the power to the river when I have the River 119, because it's by far the best riverboat I've ever been in. So,
okay, Alyssa says that her dad is from Minnesota.
Well, you know, if this would have been more strategic, Nate would have won in Minnesota because that's closer to
catch. Yeah.
So anyway, so Nate, again, same thing. Shoot me a text, 757-348-2232, and let me know what you want to do, how you want to do it, when you want to do it, and we'll get it all sorted out.
So somebody who's Facebook user, who I can't tell it is, said they just got the SS-127.
Hey, listen, I got the power like 20 feet over there. I fished out of the SS-127 all day today. I love the power. Don't get me wrong. But I'm going to have a hard time just walking away from the SS-127 because I probably got 10, 15,000 hours in that thing. I wear it like a backpack. It's dialed into me. I love it. It's a great little platform. It's, you know, the perfect middle. But that power, whew, it's a beast. It's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said they just rigged their power with the NK300 and wanted to know how it ran.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I did rig the power with the NK300 and the 1103, and I took it out in the Tennessee River. So if you're just asking about moving water, not necessarily like river, it ran great. In fact, it runs better than the SS-127 because the ass end doesn't squat down. You know, it doesn't get sucked down because it's got more volume in the stern. So it literally, I mean, it went across the surface. It attains upstream maneuvers. And when you pull into an eddy, you don't get that ass end getting sucked around like you do with a boat that's a little more dug in, like the SS-127 and most boats out there. So, no, it handles moving water and even big moving water really well.
Scott wanted to know, is there any prizes for the state winners of the Catch-22? Yes. Bragging rights and the target on your back for next year.
No, there actually is. So stay tuned for that. I'll announce that January 1st or 2nd, whenever we do the second announcement, because then the state winners will be finalized.
Yeah, because I know there's still fish out there to be judged as well. So
there is, and then there's also I've got to validate it, but like let's talk about this for 1 minute. Derek Miller, 540 something inches, a 23.9 inch average for 22 fish. There's a lot of people that would give a pinky or the tip of their toe for one 23 inch fish. This dude This dude has cold fish in the 22s and 21 3/4 and the 20s. So Derek Miller, I don't know if you guys remember this, but I put a challenge out there, and him and Jason Starley were like neck and neck for a while. But he won the 4x4, and I'll put that together, and I'll announce that as well on the 1st or 2nd because, you know, he won. He's going to basically fish free with KBF, anything he wants to fish for 4 years.
So make sure you guys tune in for the final, because tonight was the get, you know, and like I named the thumbnail wrong because I didn't realize that we were still going till the end of the year.
Until
so
I
we're gonna
told
have
you
a
earlier
final
today.
We're gonna have a final finale.
I mean, even in my message that I sent out to everybody, I said final, but I'm a dummy. So we'll pick. And I also didn't realize that because the event run to the end of the year, state leaders can change and totals can change. And so we'll do it again, January 1st or 2nd. Let's call it the 2nd, unless I change it, and then we'll back it up to the 1st. But all right, last question.
Kayak Fishing Nation as a threat. All tournament or all kayak fishing is good.
No, I don't see anything as a threat. I see it as complimentary if we all work together.
I mean, Chad and I have talked about fishing Bassmaster, the Shoaly Palooza with you know, the guys over there. I mean, I'm
definitely fishing Drew Gregory series this year. That thing looks fun. I'm going to try to fish 2 or 3 of the KBF trail events in the no motor division. I might even fish one of them in the like full blown, just enter the trail, you know, just to do it. And then look, I got to give credit where credit's due. The Bassmaster schedule is about what you expected. It's the Bassmaster schedule, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's good. The Hobie schedule is badass. It's like, it's probably the most evenly distributed nationwide, with the exception of maybe the 2nd year that KBF did a trail series. It's probably the best nationwide distributed trail series that there's been. And I hope they're successful with it, because what people don't understand is I don't really root for failure in this sport, because if you fail, it makes the whole sport look bad. It makes my job harder going to sponsors and saying, hey, we need to do this, because they're like, I don't know. How is kayak fishing doing? Because if those things are struggling, so, you know, it's hard sometimes, especially a couple of years ago, to keep that mindset. But you know, that's the way I've always been. And that's what I always come back to. And that's really what you guys should settle on, is that if it's good for the sport, it's good for the sport. Actually, I'm going to stop saying the word sport. If it's good for the community, then it's good for the community. And if it's not good for the community, then it's not. It's really comes down to that. It's that simple, you know? I'm all about constructive criticism and bitching with a purpose. I'm no longer entertaining, hearing, acknowledging, complaining with no solution even suggested, right? It's just not, it's not worth it. So, but look, man, thank all of you knuckleheads. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, JT. I hope you have the merriest Christmas. I asked JT what JT stood for earlier tonight. I got to be honest with you guys. I thought it was like Jarius Tavalius or something to that effect, but it turns out it's like John Taylor. What is it?
John Thomas.
John Thomas. Taylor. But anyway, y'all do me a favor and light up the comment section when we're done with what you think JT stands for, or what it should have stood for. And y'all have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you guys next time.
I make up a new name every time somebody asks me that. Merry Christmas, everybody. We will see you for the next final finale for Catch22 coming up real soon.
Hey, holla at your boy.